Hi everyone. We're going to find products and quotients of complex numbers in polar form. And we also, our argument must lie in between 0 and 360. We're going to find that out on the first problem we do. We'll look at that. So basically, here's our two equations. Okay, complex numbers here. And this is the formulas we're going to use. So this is your product, and this is your quotient. All right? Notice on the product, we're adding here. And on the quotient, you're subtracting the angles. So it's pretty simple, but you need to remember this as well. So let's do our first example. Our first example is going to be, the next page is right here. So we have two different complex numbers, and we're going to multiply them, and then we're going to divide. So when you multiply them, that's Z times W. What you're going to do is multiply, and I'll go ahead and write these out. 3 cosine of 20 plus I sine of 20 times 5 times cosine of 100 plus I sine of 100 degrees. And this I's aren't showing up very good. All right. Now, what we're going to do first is multiply the 3 and the 5 according to our formula. I'll move this over 3 times 5. And then I'm going to put my cosines together. So this would be cosine of angle 1 plus angle 2. Okay? Plus I times sine, and I'm going to do, again, angle 1, which is 20, and this is angle 2, plus 100. So we're going to get 15 times cosine of 120, plus, this should be like this, I sine of 120. And that is how you do it. That's it. Now I'm trying to save room here, so let's divide. We're going to divide these two. Instead of me writing it out, I'm just going to use the formula to save room. So for B, it's going to be Z divided by W equals 3 over 5 times cosine of 20 degrees minus 100. There's the difference. All right? Plus I times sine of 20 minus 100. Okay? And then what you get is 3/5 of cosine of negative 80 plus I sine of negative 80. Now you can either just say 360 minus 80. What I tend to do is our argument has to be between 0 and 360. So basically I'm going to add 360 to both of these to make it coterminal. So when you add 360, you're going to get 3/5 cosine of 280 plus I times sine of 280. And that's how you multiply and divide. So I have a few more, I think 3 more. So here's another one. And instead of writing it all out, I'm just going to kind of, my R's here are 1. So this is going to make it a little easier. So Z times W, just going to be 1 times 1 is 1. So we're going to have cosine of 120 plus 100. I'm just adding this as angle 1, angle 2, plus I times sine of the same. So we get cosine of 220 plus, I'm supposed to have the parentheses here, 220 plus I sine of 220 degrees. And that's your answer. And then when you divide, it's the same thing. Well, 1 divided by 1 is just 1. So it should be cosine of 120 minus 100 plus I sine of 120 minus 100. You're just subtracting. This is angle 1, angle 2. So basically, you're going to get cosine of 20 plus I times sine of 20. Okay? Okay, we have 2 more to go. Here's one that's a little more complicated. It has your 2 R's, R1 and R2. Actually, you could call this C1, C2 versus the W. Here's your angles. Angle 2, angle 1, angle 2. So when you multiply, you get 2 times 6 times cosine of 80 plus 200 plus I times sine of 80 plus 200. And that's going to give you 12 times cosine of 280 plus I times sine of 280 degrees. Okay, and so that's that answer. And then to divide, you get 2 over 6. And you do the same thing. You just copy the same thing down, but subtract. Cosine 80 minus 200 plus I times 80 minus 200. Again, I forgot to put the sign here, so it's going to be sine of 80 minus 200. All right, so basically clean this up, and you're going to get 1/3 cosine of negative 120 plus I times sine of negative 120. And again, what I tend to do is just I'm going to add 360 to this to make it coterminal. And then our answer is going to be 1/3 cosine of 240 plus I times sine of 240. And that's it. And the next one is where they give it to you like this. So what we're going to have to do is find the polar form first. So for this one, my R is going to be the square root of 1 squared plus negative 1 squared, which is square root of 2. And my W is going to be 1 squared plus square root of 3 squared, which just equals what? 2. All right, so that's my 2 R's. Why did I put that? So this is my R1 and my R2. Now to find my angle, I'm just going to use tangent. So for this one here, tangent of theta equals negative 1 over 1. And I know this is in quadrant 4, so I know this is going to equal 315 degrees. Equals my angle. So my angle here is 315. And for the second one, I have tan, and this is also in quadrant 4, equals negative square root of 3 over 1. That means my angle is going to be 300. So for this one, my angle is 300. So now that I have that, I can rewrite my equations. I have z equals the square root of 2 times the cosine of 315 plus I times the sine of 15 degrees. And my w is 2 times cosine of 30 plus I times sine of 300 degrees. All right. Now, on the next slide, we're going to go ahead and do our multiplying and adding. And so if you want to write these down, you might want to pause and write those down, because I already have them written down on a sheet of paper here. So we have z times w is going to be square root of 2 times 2, and then we're going to do cosine of 315 plus 300. These are all degrees. Okay, plus I times sine of 315 plus 300. All right, so what we're going to get is 2 square root of 2 cosine of 615 plus I times sine of 615. Now don't forget, we have to have our argument. This is our argument here. Has to be in between 0 and 360. That's where, it doesn't equal 360. So, in 360. So, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 360 from these to make them coterminal. And then our final answer will be 2 square root of 2 times the cosine of 255 plus I times sine of 255 degrees. All right, and now we're going to do the subtraction portion. The the dividing portion. We have a z over w. Is going to be square root of 2 over 2, and you're going to have cosine of 315 degrees minus 300 degrees plus I times sine of 315 degrees minus 300 degrees. So this is going to yield square root of 2 over 2 cosine of, what is this going to be? 315 minus 300 is 15 degrees plus I times sine of 15 degrees. All right, so that's it. And that's all of this video. The next video we're going to do is write equations in the standard form of a plus bi. And these are a little based on de Moivre's theorem. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.